Jerusalem, Israel says it has destroyed a tunnel dug by Hamas from Gaza into Israeli territory, dealing a substantial blow to one of the main strategic assets in the Islamic militant group's arsenal. It was the second cross-border tunnel in 6 weeks that the Israeli military said it had detected and put out of use with new technologies, leading officials to predict the end of the cross-border threat from such tunnels. Donald Trump's announcement that the US will move their Israel embassy to Jerusalem has been met with condemnation by leaders in the Middle East, Europe and the UN. Britain's best-known publicist, Max Clifford, died after collapsing in prison, where he was serving an 8-year sentence for indecently assaulting teenage girls in the 1970s and 1980s. The Arab League held an emergency meeting Saturday with scathing criticism of President Donald Trump's Jerusalem decision, a move they agreed has robbed Washington of its credentials as an honest broker in Mideast peace. The International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons was awarded this year's Nobel Peace Prize on Sunday. The RSPCA is calling for bull riding events to be banned in South Australia after a bucking bull snapped its leg while being ridden at an Adelaide rodeo. U.S. Special Counsel Robert Mueller unveiled a trove of evidence against President Donald Trump's former campaign manager Paul Manafort to convince a judge that he violated a gag order by ghostwriting an article to bolster his public image. President Trump was met by protesters and a boycott from civil rights activists at the grand opening of the Mississippi Civil Rights Museum. After a not guilty verdict was reached, Arizona officials released a graphic body cam video showing the 2016 fatal shooting of Daniel Shaver by then police officer Philip A. Mitch Abrales Ford in a Mesa hotel. Donald Trump's announcement that the US will move their Israel embassy to Jerusalem has been met with condemnation by leaders in the Middle East, Europe and the UN. We have reached new technological capabilities in the struggle against terror tunnels, Israeli Defense Minister, Avigdor Lieberman, said in a statement. Referring to Israeli border communities, he added, "I hope that in the coming months the tunnel threat to the residents of the Gaza envelope will become a thing of the past." More immediately, the action against the tunnel injected another element of uncertainty into the simmering tensions over US President Donald Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Clashes on Friday and Saturday between Palestinian protesters and Israeli forces in many parts of the West Bank and along the border with Gaza were not as huge as many had feared, and most had died down by Sunday. Meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Paris on Sunday, French President Emmanuel Macron said he firmly and clearly condemned all kinds of attacks against Israel in recent hours and days, but he reaffirmed his disapproval of Trump's move to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Get the latest news and updates emailed straight to your inbox.